Hi, my name is Bruce Nutley. I'm practicing Travis picking tonight, and so I thought that I would share that with you. This is an exercise from the Unstoppable Guitar System, and so go to yourguitarsage.com and you can see you can find the whole system there. Sorry about that. Or you can find Eric has a ton of videos here on YouTube, and so just look for Your Guitar Sage. He's great in that he gives free membership to veterans, which I'm a old naval officer, so so contact him and you can get the whole course for free if you're a veteran, and if not, then he has specials at different times, but he has a combination of different courses, and so please go check that out. So this is I'm still learning guitar. As my guitar teacher says, it's still a lifetime journey. But tonight we're working on Travis picking. And so this is an exercise on Travis picking. And so Travis picking is a method of finger picking, which involves a walking bass line and then picking out other strings across each of the chords. And so we're just going to be doing a C chord, an open C, so to speak, as opposed to a bar C. We could do a bar C, I guess. But we're going to do an open C with the left hand. Nothing exciting there because we're just concentrating on the right hand. And we're going to be picking out the strings across the right hand, which gives, so instead of strumming, it would just be finger picking each measure. And so Guitar Pro is going to play for us so that we get the timing right. So basically we're using Guitar Pro as if it were a metronome here. I guess I can actually blow that up a little bit more than it is right now. So let's do that, because we're only using the first two measures, what I'm going to ask Guitar Pro to do is play the first two measures repeatedly. And so what I'm going to do is push it over a little bit to the right, so that we just get those two measures and you can see them bigger. The little letters next to each of the notes on the treble clef represent which of your fingers should be striking that note. And so P is for your thumb, I is for your index, R is for your ring, and so on. Or no, I'm sorry, A is for your ring, anniversary, ring finger, anniversary, ring finger. Okay, so here's Guitar Pro plugin. Nope. Sorry, I hit start stream instead of Guitar Pro playing it. Here we go with Guitar Pro. So I for index, P for your thumb, M for middle. Watch me miss it. As soon as we turn on the camera, it becomes much harder. Goal is not that you do it until you get it right, but that you keep doing it until you can't get it wrong, as the quip goes. And so, because what you want is that's just second nature. So think of this as an exercise that you would start to do every day. Think of this as while you're noodling with the guitar, while you're watching a movie or talking on the phone or doing something else, that you would have your hand go through those. Now, when we switch chords, if it's another chord like C that's limited to the 5 strings, then you'd basically have the same. C, we're using the middle 5 strings. We're not going to the low E or the high E. Eric talks about he reserves the high E in case the vocalist is using the high E, the upper register more. and so the Travis picking is across the inner strings. So but if we went to A minor, we basically do the same thing where we're going to be let's scroll down to where I have A minor written out, because I'm getting it wrong. Okay, so here's the idea for A minor. We'll have Guitar Pro play that for us. Switch back to C. Sorry, let's have that. Just repeat C. And again, what we want, I'm not there yet, but what we want is that becomes so second nature for you that your right hand just goes on to autopilot, and your left hand can be thinking about different things that you need to fret. Just like with strumming, once you got your strumming on autopilot, then you can focus on your left hand, because when you're singing and you're strumming and you're fretting, you can only really be thinking about one of those. And so if you're going to be thinking about your singing, then your fretting and your strumming have to both be on autopilot. Muscle memory have to be so routine to you that you don't have to spend brains on it. Unfortunately, we don't have 6 different CPUs in our brain, which would be lovely if we did, because then you could just assign one to the right hand, one to the left hand, and one to the singing, and one to the emotional content of the composite of the performance altogether, and be happy. And then just focus on C, get your routine down, and then start to do other chords, I think is the idea. Then start to speed it up. So like I have it doing Guitar Pro doing 70% right now. If you went to 80%, do many repetitions of that. So do 5 or 10 minutes of that, then go to 90%, do 5 minutes of that, then go then there's nothing magical about 120 beats per minute. Look at the music that you normally play, that you enjoy playing, and look at how many beats per minute that music is, and that's where your finger picking is going to need to be, right? And so if normally what you play is at 90 beats per minute, then I would probably practice this at 90 and 100, so that just so you have it down a little bit faster, because it's easy. I think it's fairly easy to get in sync with what's the actual beat of the piece that you're playing. And so that's the idea. As Merle Travis is the one that's credited with this. I think it actually comes. Merle Travis is who everyone credits. But I do recall that June Carter, they talked about, played a walking bass note when she fingerpicked, that she could play the harmony and the melody, as they say. And this happens to be one permutation, one sequence, one pattern that is a type of Travis picking. This is not the Travis picking pattern. This is one example of a Travis picking pattern, because you could alternate the order of the notes, you could alternate the timing of the notes. All that is left to the performer, and so you may modify this with each song that you perform. But the idea is get used to doing this at all, and get the muscle memory, and then once you have your finger picking hand used to doing this. And there are tons of YouTube videos on this topic, and so please feel free. The only reason I'm shooting this is because I'm learning through this, and so there may be some insights that you share if you're learning this with me as I'm trying to learn this. But it's just like everything else with learning the guitar, is it takes time, and so be patient. Do it over and over and over again until it becomes second nature, and keep enjoying the guitar. Take breaks, go do other stuff, play your favorite songs, and then come back and do this once a day or so. And I do recommend use something to keep the time. And so I'm gonna have Guitar Pro play by itself through this a couple of times, and then you could use this to practice. The chords are written above the music, and so you could use the chord shape. So you put a C chord shape when you're at the first measure and the second measure, and G chord shape when you're at third measure, and so on. And so you could use this section of the video to practice at home. And I won't play during this section. I'll just let you enjoy, and then it'll wrap around. We'll play it through 2 times. You know what? I'm gonna stop that, and I'm actually gonna blow this up, because you don't need to see me play since I'm not playing. I'm gonna blow this up, and then we'll play through it 2 times, and then that way you can follow along. You play at home and get used to the Travis picking, and then maybe this will help you learn along with me. And so here we go. We're going to start over again. So do the C shapes to begin with. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that this was helpful to you as well. And if you have questions that you want beginner answers for, feel free to post them below. And if I don't know the answer, maybe I can help you find out. But thanks for tuning in. Good luck with your guitaring.